Hello Helldivers and members of Super Earth. I'm here to clear up some misinformation and expectations for the Warhammer Warbond. Let's get started, shall we? And please subscribe to support the cause. This will be an explanation of Warhammer 40k, and I'll also explain what the unit characters are in 40k. Me personally, I've played a little bit of Space Marine 2, and I've played a lot of the board game. I have about 3 combat patrols at the moment. I think 2 of them got removed in the recent edition, but it's fine. I spent a lot of money on this game. I don't expect you guys. I think as long as you have known a little bit of the lore, you can be considered as a Warhammer player. Not really player, more of someone who's not a LARPer in the Warhammer community. You actually know what's happening. Now, what is Warhammer 40k? Warhammer 40k is a grim, dark sci-fi fantasy world that has all sorts of media. It has games like Space Marine 2, Dawn of War, Dark Tide, Bolt Gun, and much more. There's books, there's lots of books, 700 plus books. I think it might even be more than 700, like almost 1,000. And most importantly, the board game. That's the main source of income for Games Workshop or Warhammer. You first have to understand what Space Marines are. And when you ask why can't Space Marines not be in the Warbond, you just have to understand what they are. Space Marines are Astartes. You hear this a lot in the Warhammer game, or when people talking about the lore. Adeptus Astartes are Space Marines. They're genetically modified super soldiers who fight for the Imperium. The Imperium is run by the Emperor. Emperor originally created it, but he's currently dead on the throne, and the problem is he's kind of dead. So it's currently lots and lots of bureaucracy. They mess it up big time. Not the writers, no, but the story in the game is that the people who are leading the Imperium have messed it up a lot. Their armor, the Space Marine armor, are no short but incredibly strong. They could take multiple hits without even being scratched. Maybe you'll take a Bile Titan stomp to only pierce his armor, and yet he'd still not be dead. He could probably even tank slam from the Hive Lord. That's how strong they are, and that's like a normal Space Marine. There's the Terminators, which are just too strong to even speak of. Now, and although you look at them and see, oh my god, they're so huge, and then you look and go, they must be really slow, right? They can be. You'd be right and you'd be wrong. Terminators are really slow. That's why they teleport all over the place. Yeah, they have something called Deep Strike in the game, in the board game, or they just teleport with their. I don't know how they teleport. They just can teleport or something like that behind enemy lines, and they move slowly, like huge tanks, but they're not tanks. But you're wrong if you think the normal Space Marines are slow. They can run faster than humans, and with their superhuman reaction speed, they are miles fast. The reaction speed is miles faster than an average human. They can probably dodge bullets. Speaking of bullets, they will probably shut off the biggest of hits from the Helldiver arsenal. I think the only exceptions could be 380 barrages or the orbital rail cannon strike, which a Space Marine is not a stupid little automaton and can go behind cover, alright? Because Super Earth mainly has soldiers that fight, maybe with power armor, but they are not genetically modified. I don't think Space Marines would fit. Hell, I'll think about the balancing. And I think Warhammer players want a more accurate depiction of the bulwark against terror, the defenders of humanity. They're Space Marines. The only way this would work is a mech type stratagem, but that still would be inaccurate. But what can we expect for the Warbond? Well, that's actually pretty simple.
For we are the Cadian Eighth, the most fearsome, tenacious, and relentless bloody men and women that ever crossed the stars!
Cadians. Mainly either Casterkins or shock troops. They are the parts of the Imperial Guard that are the equivalent to this SEAF, the Siege Troopers. You see those blue guys? This light blue and white guys who, not white guys, but I'm not being racist here. It's those cannon fodder, but not really. They're the main backbone and the real army. Space Marines are not seen at all times in the battlefield. It's usually the Cadians, or the other parts of the Imperial Guard, like Steel Legion, Armageddon Steel Legion, the Korps of the Krieg, Catachan, Jungle Fighters, those guys. Those are most notable ones. Just put it there. There are other ones as well, like the Horse Rider guys. I don't remember their names. Those guys, they are like the elite troops of the Imperial Guard. Kasrkins are the elite groups of the Imperial Guard. A lot of people have been saying it'll be Kasrkins, so I want to explain what they are. Because they're the elite, they have hotshot las guns, which are just las guns, but I think better. I don't play Imperial Guard. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. They have flamethrowers, yeah. Bolt pistols, the one that you saw in the trailer of the full kit reveal. That one. Melta-guns, which are like heavy armor-piercing weapons. Very amazing for killing heavy anti-tank. Plasma weapons, guns and pistols, plasma guns, plasma pistols. And chain swords, sometimes power weapons. Power weapons are just like, it's not really officially explained, but it kind of tears a hole in reality at a really small degree. Now, Death Corps of the Krieg is the second one I think that should really be in the Warbond. I love these guys, the joke about the shovels and the happy gas mask noises. I mean, they sure do love their shovels, man. But they are the let me kill one person before I die mass-produced soldiers. They love artillery, battery, and are one of my favorite Imperial Guard regiments. They are really, really amazing in basically everywhere they are. And I believe they're in the Battle of Armageddon. And if you're willing to get into Warhammer, the board game, set aside maybe $180 or $200 to buy a set of those Combat Patrol. I recommend you get the new Space Marine one because they give you the paints and or the orcs. You just get one of those, or you could get Armageddon box, which is a new one. You get like a lot of new units in the Armageddon box for orcs and Space Marines. But Space Marines are currently Blood Angels and not Ultramarines, which are the blueberries. You usually see the blue ones. Blood Angels are the red ones. Yes, there are different colors of Space Marines. None of them are better than the other, just that they all serve different purposes. Now, the last one I think should be there is the Commissars. If there's no Commissars, I'll be very, very disappointed. Commissars are there to strike fear into the enemies and their own soldiers. They sometimes execute soldiers for being cowardly, and then proceed because you would see your own Commissar being so deadly, and you'd think, yeah, why would I want to be a bit more of a coward? That won't make sense, right? So they get scared of their own Commissar, and fear drives their motivation. Although that's not the best way, I recommend you guys not do that. For soldiers that last 15 hours on the battlefield, I think that's a pretty good one. If you made it this far in the video, please subscribe and like. I mean, subscribing will really support me because I need more subscribers, to be honest. I want to make a bigger audience here in Helldivers. I'm planning to keep on posting on Helldivers. So far, I think I've posted like 2 shorts and 2 videos. Expect more to be coming. If you want me to post a short about what enemy you need me to like cover on, because I'm trying to help the newer Helldivers to learn how each of these enemies work and how to get around it. So yeah, feel free to tell me in the comments. It also helps the algorithm. I need that algorithm as well. So yeah, thank you and bye.